Hey guys, I didn't want to clickbait the title, but look on the left side and you can see a couple deer threatening to run in front of the plane. I decided not to attempt to abort because I figured I would have ended up in the corn, but I was really happy when the biggest deer juked like it was going to run in front of the plane and ended up going the other way. So I do think I did the right thing, but if you guys have other ideas, put it in the comments below. I'll be curious to hear what a better plan would have been.
Well, that was no fun. Did not like seeing those deer on rotation. Not enough room to stop. Would have been in the corn. And that's a first.
Morning traffic, Husky 213 Pablo, 4 miles to the south, entering extended left downwind, runway 19, Maury.
Usually the deer come out in the afternoon.
Lone Rock traffic, Sirius 9 Sierra Golf, on the go, staying in the pattern, runway 27, Lone Rock.
Alright, let's get our
Lone
weather.
Rock, Sirius 7 Charlie Delta, left base, 27, touch and go, Lone Rock.
Interesting that they're using 2.7 when the winds are right down 1.8. Hey guys, Rich here, and this weekend I'm hosting a fly-in at the Lone Rock Airport. Going over there now to get set up. We're going to do a tour of the famous Johnson Brothers shop. And
Lone Rock traffic, Sirius 7 Charlie Delta, final, runway 27, touch and go, Lone Rock.
And the Vagabond that they're restoring.
Maury traffic, Husky, left downwind, runway 19, Maury.
And I'm going to teach people how to make chicken teriyaki, beef teriyaki, and tofu teriyaki. So stick around. Lone Rock traffic, 1 Whiskey Tango, 4 miles to the southwest, inbound landing 18, Lone Rock.
Lone Rock traffic, Sirius 9 Sierra Golf, on left downwind, runway 27, Lone Rock.
1 Whiskey Tango has the downwind on insight.
That's the mall, right?
Yeah, who's that?
It's just an instructor at Maury. I just seen you here a bunch.
Ah, good to hear you.
Likewise.
We're doing a fly-in this weekend if you guys are interested.
Where at?
Right here at Lone Rock, we're going to have 15 planes, 20 people. We're going to do some cooking tomorrow, camping at the airport.
Sweet. I'll add it to the schedule.
And 1 Whiskey Tango has the departing traffic in sight. We're going to enter, well, we're crosswind 18 right now. Lone Rock traffic, 1 Whiskey Tango entering left base, runway 18. Sorry, left downwind, runway 18, Lone Rock.
Lone Rock traffic, Sirius 747 Charlie Delta, turning crosswind for runway 27, Lone Rock traffic.
And Sirius on final, you'll be behind me, so give me another call when you're short final, please.
Okay. Sirius is short final. We can lasso this if you want and back taxi.
Whatever you want to do is fine with me.
Yeah, we'll lasso it. It looks like you're about to turn base.
Okay, roger that. 1 Whiskey Tango, turning base 18, Lone Rock.
All right, Sirius 9 Sierra Golf is exiting 27 in the midfield pad.
Insight, 1 Whiskey Tango. Lone Rock traffic, 1 Whiskey Tango rolling out on 18. We'll be in the taxiway here in a second. Busy day. Lone Rock traffic, 1 Whiskey Tango, clear of all runways. Thanks guys, appreciate it.
You bet.
We have a pretty busy ramp this morning too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little planes and one that's probably picking up passengers.
This morning I was supposed to be recording a quick video for this product Plane Perfect has called One. The idea of the video was to show the product on the plane, then clean the plane with it, and show the difference between the before and after shots in terms of how clean it was. Unfortunately, the product works so well that I couldn't actually do the after shot because the product wouldn't stay on the airplane. So after being frustrated for a few minutes, I realized that this itself was actually a pretty compelling testimony about the quality of the product. The name One comes from the fact that it's designed to be used on any surface. So you can use it on your leading edges, on your windshield, on your cowl, on your fuselage, whatever you want to. One product, all surfaces. So give it a try. I think you'll like it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and he's on rotate.
Yeah.
He's on rotate.
Exactly.
I was talking with Badger Pilot at the Flying Midwest podcast, and he was talking about wanting to do a flying this summer with listeners of the podcast. We talked about some of my favorites being grass trips like Sidnaw, Lakewood Lodge, and North Fox Island, but he was concerned that a lot of people aren't comfortable landing on grass. My channel is pretty much all about backcountry flying, and I can only think of one video I've ever made that was on a paved strip, that being the one when I flew out to see the total eclipse in the spring. But I did understand where he was coming from, so I mentioned Lone Rock. where I have a hangar and know everyone involved in management of the field. Since everyone seemed to think it sounded like a fun idea, we locked in dates and made it happen. Once everyone got settled, we had a great afternoon of talking, sharing stories, and then sitting around the campfire as the sun went down.
So this is Corey and Ryan Johnson, the Johnson brothers, and this is their shop. They are multi-award-winning A&P fabric specialists at Oshkosh. They've done a ton of great work, and they were a big part of the reason why I ended up getting them all. I was concerned about fabric and whether or not I'd be able to get the work that I needed to done, and found out that they were here and saw some of their work and saw some of their champion work up at the show. So since we were doing the fly-in here this weekend, I thought it'd be fun for them to kind of talk about what they do here, why they do it. They've got a Vagron project that they can talk about a little bit. So with that, I'll turn it over to Ryan and Corey.
Yes, this is the first. So when Piper was facing bankruptcy, they developed the Piper PA-15, basically to try to use up materials they had on hand and try to turn a profit or just avoid bankruptcy. And it was an airplane that just had single controls, no suspension, you couldn't get any more basic. The fellow that Corey mentioned, William Schreiber, he wouldn't even let the company put a stripe on the side of it. It was that cheap, and they wanted it. Piper decided to update the model into a PA-17, and they put a Continental engine in it, replaced some of the light homing that it had in it. They put suspension in the landing gear and dual controls, a few other little things, but so this airplane is serial number 1 PA-17. So it was a PA-15 that they retained ownership of and then basically recertified it, got a new type certificate.
Yeah, so this airframe is actually flown under 2 type certificates.
Yeah.
So it was a PA-15 at one time and now it's a PA-17. So I don't know, there's probably not a lot of certified airplanes that the airframe is actually flown under 2 type certificates. So.
That's nice. She's back in the hangar. Go ahead.
There we go. We're going to take off and go to the southwest there. You seen in the pattern?
We're going to depart to the west to do some air work.
Okay, sounds good. See you.
See ya.
Lone Rock traffic, 1 Whiskey Tango, taxi 09, depart 18, Lone Rock. Should have done my run up, but by the time I remembered, I was already on the runway. So we'll do a quick pause here once we get onto 18. Every once in a while I do that, forget that there's any place here off the runway to take care of my dirty business.
It's not that busy.
No, I think we'll be okay. Okay, still feeling good about where you're sitting? Yep. Look to me. Off we go. Lone Rock traffic, 1 Whiskey Tango, departing 18, Lone Rock. So this is all new. We didn't have that solar farm until about 1.5 years, 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's a bad waste of farmland.
Yeah. I think the owners of the farmland probably have a different opinion.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends. I've got friends that are farmers that let the wind generators come in.
Yep.
And then it gets sold and resold to different companies, and then they break down and they just leave them, and the farmer gets stuck.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah, they're not supposed to be able to do that.
No, but it happens, unfortunately.
Traffic Sirius 226 Mike Lima, turning left base 28 Maury.
Well, the land here is not very good.
Yeah, so I was wondering, why are they watering everything? I mean, I don't see that elsewhere around here really that much.
You don't see the what?
I don't see, at least in Iowa, you don't ever see irrigation like that.
So you see, here's the right side, the left side of the river valley, and you can see the other side there.
Yeah.
So all of this is just basically sand in the river valley.
It just dries out fast?
Exactly.
Oh, I see.
And if you don't and the water table is only 3, 5, 7 feet below the surface, so it doesn't cost hardly anything to pull that water up and spray it around. But yeah, if they didn't, then the corn would be dead in a week. It would be just completely dried out.
Like somebody camping down there on the...
That was me.
on the sandbar.
Yep. Very popular. It's
one down there too.
It's a protected waterway, so it's really popular during the summer with the canoers. Because there's very, very little development along about 75 or 100 miles of it.
Oh, I may have to come try that. I enjoy canoeing.
Oh yes, it's a beautiful river for that. Okay, I see my first landmark already. I'm just going to turn to the left here to make it easier for you to see. So in front of us, you see the farm with the big rows of silage.
Oh yeah.
Yep, that's my first landmark. And then as we get a little bit closer, we'll be able to see over the hill behind that farm. And then the second landmark will be the farm across the street from me there. Because I know where I'm going, I can actually see my farm already.
Oh, sure.
There's my next door neighbor took a bunch of land out of rotation 20 years ago and planted a tree farm. And because I'm familiar, I can see the distinction between the younger trees, all of one species, and the rest of the natural forest. We're getting close enough that you might be able to also. So it's on this hilltop. You see how it's lighter green kind of in the middle there?
Yeah, I think so.
That's the tree farm. And now we're over that hill, so we can see that next farm over the hill there. That's my other landmark. So you can see the road behind that farm?
Yeah.
So that road, once you cross that road, that's my land.
Okay.
So my little piece goes from the point where the forest ends there, all the way down to over here somewhere.
And it's all just basically timber, recreation, no crops or anything?
It is about 35, it's only 80 acres total, and it's about 10 acres of tillable, 30 or 40 acres of pasture, and then the remainder is woods, yeah. So this is my farm. This is my landing strip here that I saw.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a good one. When I asked if it had crops, I forgot you had said there was a pile of corn you had to come over.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's on my neighbor's field.
Oh.
So we're starting our approach now. Super extended compared to what I usually do. I'm usually kind of inside of this row of trees. The corn that we're going to come over is the dividing line between my field and my neighbor's field. And my neighbor is this guy with the rows of silage.
Okay.
Okay, we're a little high. Power out. Getting some flaps. Going to go ahead and add full flaps. A little power to bring us in. Activate the prop. Now with the full flaps, we're really descending. Right where we want to be speed-wise.
Beautiful spot.
Yeah, it really is.
We're doing something a little bit different today. Instead of me cooking for you, we're doing a cooking class with the other pilots that came in for the fly-in. First two volunteers are slicing beef as the first protein of the day. We're doing this first as we're going to velvet the beef. This is a chemical reaction between baking soda and the muscle fibers that causes them to become more tender. Then we move on to our second protein, chicken. We're trying to slice it nice and thin so that it'll cook quickly under high heat. There's no need to velvet the chicken, though some people prefer to do it anyway for extra tenderness. Finally, our third protein option is tofu, so we squeeze a lot of the moisture out and dice it into cubes. That's all the prep that's needed for the tofu. Because we have a big group, we're going to prep a variety of veggies and let people mix and match as they wish. Starting with some cabbage and green peppers. Green peppers are the unripe version of bell peppers, a member of the nightshade family. They're native to the tropical regions of Central and South America and have cultivated for thousands of years before being discovered by the Europeans. Next, we're slicing some onions. As they cook, their flavor will mellow into a nice sweetness while adding some texture as well. These are native to Central Asia, specifically Iran and Pakistan, and spread from there over a period of thousands of years. We're adding some yellow squash, mostly for appearance. They're quite mild compared to everything else in the dish, but will look nice when plated. And last but definitely not least, Badger Pilot from the Flying Midwest podcast is dicing some ginger. With the prep work done, it's time to start cooking. We have the big wok and the 65,000 BTU burner for this one. And we're gonna start by putting in some oil and getting it good and hot. While that's warming, we're setting up a staging station with our ingredients for later. We're getting started with the tofu. One of the keys here is to keep it moving so it doesn't stick to the wok. Tofu is delicate and we don't want to lose the flavor that we're creating by having it stick. As the tofu browns, the texture changes quite a bit with an exterior that has some body while the interior stays smooth and delicate. Once we have the tofu set aside, we get the beef started. We're pre-cooking all the proteins to allow final assembly to be more controllable. If this airport had a Michelin star, we would likely have experienced enough staff to do everything at once. But for now, this is a very safe and easy way for pilots to end up with predictable results. The beef was in the baking soda for about 30 minutes now, and we're gonna cook it to about 80% complete. We got this beef from our local butcher, but this dish is made with flank, skirt, hanger, or sirloin, so these aren't great cuts of meat to begin with. In any case, by the time our quick cook is done, we're ready to move on to the chicken. The chicken is the same program as the beef, just pre-cooking it before final assembly. The chicken pieces in this cook are too big. I should have asked someone to make them about half the size they turned out to be. This changes the amount of time needed to cook as well as the eventual sauce to meat ratio in the final dish. With the proteins cooked, it's time to start the final assembly. In this case, our guest chef wanted carrots, onions, squash, chicken, and peanuts. So all that goes into the wok and we keep it moving while it heats up. The last step is to add our teriyaki sauce and let that simmer briefly to reduce a little bit and coat all the ingredients. The standard quick snapshot for the thumbnail and it's time to eat. All this stuff was pretty tasty. It was great to hang out with old and new friends for the weekend and I really enjoyed the event. So that's all I have for you today. We have a lot of cool plans coming in 2025, so be sure to subscribe so you see those. And until then, click around on the 100 or so we already have.